Conor, we're back. We're on time today.
Yeah, I know, isn't that weird?
It's amazing.
We're 11 minutes in, but
We are. That's okay.
yeah, we did good. We did pretty good.
We did.
Considering last week, we're doing pretty well.
Yes, my major fuck around from last week. I know.
That's fine.
Whatever. You ready for round
slide.
two? Round two of our competition?
I am. Yeah, I just forgot, and then I did them about maybe 5 minutes ago. My questions because I always forget.
Cool. Well,
I have them.
Just to give the listeners the context, if you're just jumping in on this episode, is that every week Conor and I, starting from last week, have been doing like a weekly quiz where we get a category each week and we quiz each other 3 questions, and the person who wins each week gets a point, and then by the end of series 2, whoever gets the most points wins a shit piece of Doctor Who merchandise, I think is the rule.
I believe it's a Pating pop vinyl.
I'd love that. I'd fucking love that.
I think that's a great prize. I'd love that.
Yeah, amazing. Cool. You started last week, so should I go this week?
Sure. Are you going to read all 3 of them, or?
No, we'll alternate, so I'll do my first question, then you do your one. I actually got my answers this week, so you don't have to awkwardly stop halfway through whilst I find what the answer is.
Cool. Yeah, I've got my answers too.
Amazing. All right, Conor, are you ready for question 1?
I hope so. Go on.
Who was the only confirmed actor signed on for the 50th when Moffat wrote his very first draft?
The only signed on.
The only signed on actor when he wrote the first script.
I feel like it's too obvious to say Matt.
What could it be?
I feel like it's too obvious to say
5,
that.
4,
What?
3.
This isn't fair.
2, 1. Give us an answer,
Matt,
son.
Matt. It's not Matt, is it?
Nah, it's not. It
Who
was
is it
Jenna.
then? Bullshit.
So there was
way.
no actor signed on other than Jenna, and she was the only one contracted for the 50th at the time. So he wrote his first draft with a script that just revolved around Clara.
Wait, so you're telling me that the actual main character of the show and main actor wasn't signed on?
Smith or David weren't contracted on or anything like that.
Why did they say Matt? I knew it would be too obvious. You wouldn't have made that question if it was Matt.
Go on, hit me with your question, son. Your first one.
Okay, what's the exact word that Christopher Eccleston gave that explains how the BBC treated him? Like, he gave an exact word. He said, "This is what the BBC did. This is how they treated me."
He did. I don't remember it. Oh, no.
Did I explain that well enough?
It wasn't like... it wasn't... Oh, what's it called? Blacklisted?
9. Fuck.
Yes.
Fucks.
Sorry, yeah, blacklisted. Cool. Just to clarify, by the way, to the audience, I didn't say, but we have a new category each week. This week's category is behind the scenes goss. So like, all the drama behind the scenes of Doctor Who is what this category is. Sorry, I should have said that at the start. All right, Conor, it's 1-0 to me. My question, ready? I don't know if you're going to get this question, and I felt kind of bad for asking it, because I know it's not your territory, but it's a pretty big thing in Doctor Who. And, it'll probably do you some good to know the answer to this question. Okay. All right? Ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. What series did Classic Who get to before being cancelled?
Oh no, 42.
42. Holy fuck. That's a lot. I'll give you another try.
Oh, really?
5, 4, 3, 2,
36.
1. No, man, you think it went a bit longer than it did. It ran for 26 seasons.
Oh, I was 10 ahead.
Yeah, well, at first you were, 15, 16 ahead?
Yeah, okay. All right, ready for your second one. Okay.
Give us one.
What specific item did Tom Baker apparently throw on set and he got in trouble for doing it?
Ooh, that's a hot question.
Nah.
Hot question.
8.
I don't know the answer to.
7.
But I guess if I was
6.
just to judge an item that would be throwable and bad, I would say a chair.
2. No.
Was it a ladder?
I'm going to start being hard on my questions now because I feel like I'm being too easy.
No, my questions weren't. Wait, what was it?
It was a kettle.
A kettle? You just threw a kettle.
Apparently there was like a kettle on set and there was a bit of trouble with him with it. Apparently he just threw it.
What a man.
I only heard that from the YouTuber's video, so don't quote me on that. But apparently that is true.
That's pretty feisty. All right, Connor.
Wait, if I don't get this, you've won again. Fuck.
No. Because we're 1-1 right now.
I didn't get one right though.
Aren't we? Wait, am I? Oh fuck yeah! Sorry, no, it's 1-0 to
You're
me.
You're 1,
still.
I'm 0.
Okay, here you go. You might know this one.
Okay.
All right. Which Christmas special did Murray Gold have only 7 days to create the score for?
Oh, good question. Shit.
7, 6,
Oh
5, 4,
no.
3, 2, 1. Give us your answer, son. Go on.
I'm gonna just guess and say Dr. Widow and Wardrobe.
That's correct. That's right.
No way! Yes!
Yeah,
yes! Yes!
I had a feeling you were going to get it. Whether you knew the answer or not, I just had a feeling.
No, just like, what's the worst special, Christmas special, and what's the most unmemorable score? And I thought, Dr. Widow and Wardrobe.
There you
Why
go.
didn't you have 7 days?
7 days. I don't know. I guess he was only given a cut like 7 days before or something. I don't know.
Shit. Fair enough.
Yeah, because it's not like 7 days before it aired. Like there's other deadlines because it would need to be sound mixed in and things like that. So it would have been due well before the episode. All right, give me your question, Connor. Let's see. This is the decider. If I get it or if I don't, then hit me.
All right. What did 2 actors get in trouble for on the classic Doctor Who story, The Invasion, apparently? I don't even know if that's a story. But what did 2 actors get in trouble for doing on set? 8.
I fucking know.
7,
you look these up, didn't you?
5,
Okay.
4, 3,
2 actors.
1. I did look it up. I literally just looked.
All of mine was straight
Reddit
from
page.
the head. Just want to say. Okay.
What did you say? Sorry.
But 2 actors, like you'd say fuck, right? But that's way too obvious. Like 2 actors fucking on set. Okay. I reckon
definitely
the
done
2
10
actors.
seconds.
That's fine. I'm buying my time. I'm doing
You can't
what the
buy
doctor
your
does and just
time,
keeps talking to buy
motherfucker.
time. All right. So I reckon the 2 actors set off the fire alarms.
Right, they got in trouble apparently. 2 female actors got in trouble for trying to see who could sleep with the most unit soldiers who were playing the actors who were playing unit soldiers. Apparently that's a thing.
That's
is
good.
there a classic episode called The Invasion?
Yeah, there is. I don't know anything about it, but it's
okay. Well, there you go.
I think it's a Pertwee. I don't know.
So it's a draw.
Fuck. What do we
Is
do?
that when we both get a point?
We haven't thought about this.
We both get a point, I'd say. So you get 2,
No, surely
and
we need
I'm
to figure out a way to figure out who wins.
I actually didn't make any more questions.
Man, I don't know. Fuck.
It's neck and neck.
Neck and neck. Oh no. Yeah, I'm stumped, man. I'm stumped. What about paper, scissors, rock?
Paper, scissors, rock. What's that got to do with Doctor Who knowledge? What if that's just a game
I
of
don't
chance?
fucking know. It's a 50% show, bro.
What's wrong about a good old classic tie and you're on 2 and I'm on 1? What's wrong with that?
How about we get half a point each?
Okay, that sounds fair.
Yeah?
Okay.
Cool.
Alright,
Let
so
me
you're
just
on
write that
1
into
and a
my
half
notes.
and I'm on a half.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll let that slide.
Thanks, Connor.
I shouldn't have let that
I'm
John
on
Smith
1.5.
one go last week. I'm gonna be on my deathbed and I'm still
late
gonna
now.
regret that shit.
All right, cool. Wow. I feel like we're a bit slow today, Connor. We're a bit quiet.
Yeah, well, I'm tired. That's okay. I watched this episode today because we're filming this on a Monday instead of a Thursday.
Same.
and I had a busy weekend, so I didn't get a chance to watch it. So I watched it today, which is fine. I'm just it was a good episode. It was pretty good. I haven't watched it in a while. I watched all of Series 2 last year, and I think from here on out the show's. I think the episodes get a lot better from here on out. I think it's pretty good. So, are you going to read the synopsis, or you want me to keep rambling?
Hold on. We always forget our amazing theme song.
Oh, God. Of course. All right.
Every time. Connor, shall we go into the 2 seconds of awkward silence whilst we play the theme song?
Let's do it.
All right.
50% podcast.
We back. Welcome back to the 50% show, boys.
Hello.
We're two boys that talk about Doctor Who. They talk about Doctor Who from Rose to the Timeless Children. Today we're talking about Tooth and Claw. And look, let's dive straight into the Wikipedia synopsis. Tooth and Claw is the second episode in the second series of the British science fiction television series Doctor Who, which was first broadcast on BBC One on the 22nd of April 2006. The episode is set in Scotland in 1879. In the episode, a group of warrior monks intend to use an alien werewolf, Tom Smith, to take over the British Empire and start an empire of the wolf by turning Queen Victoria, Pauline Collins, into a werewolf. This episode is directed by one of our favorites, Euros Lynn, and written by Russell T Davies. I actually did not know this was a Russell script. I did not know that. I never knew that.
I forgot as well that it was a Russell script.
What? I'm blown away.
Same.
Amazing. Connor.
Yes.
Tooth and Claw. What are your first thoughts?
Well, I always like to start my reviews by saying how traumatized Series 2 made me as a child. And, look, not so much. I didn't necessarily get so nervous first time I watched it, but I think it was one of those episodes where later on in life, it started to scare me a bit more, which is weird because I grew up, but it still just started to affect me a little bit later on in life. I don't know why. But when I first watched it, I wasn't too spooked. But again, I don't know what it was, but a couple of years later when I was officially moved here to Australia, I just struggled to watch this episode because it was just spooky. And even today watching it, I'm like, fuck, like this is some pretty gnarly shit for a children's show.
A couple of good scares in there, like jump scary kind of things, hey?
Yes, a lot. And the whole like wolf transition scene is pretty dang creepy. Notoriously, this is pretty funny. He won't mind me saying it. But I showed this episode to Declan, an old friend of ours.
Yeah.
And it is back when he was like a kid. This was in like year 3, I think, or year 4. I showed him the episode, and notoriously, he went home and had like massive nightmares, and I got in huge trouble for showing him it.
I've heard this before, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, he couldn't sleep. Apparently, he kept waking up, and then his parents weren't annoyed at me, but I think they just briefly mentioned to my parents like, "Oh, do you mind if you don't show Declan any more Doctor Who episodes when you go around Connor's?" And then my parents were like, "What did you show him?" And I was like, "Just a normal episode." I mean, back when I would show my friends Doctor Who episodes, I would always put on the scariest one to act kind of cool and be like, "Ooh, I watch really scary stuff."
I like the freaky shit.
Yeah, but then that would always scare my friends, so never really helped. But I like this episode. Again, I think it's quite different. It's quite unique. I think directing-wise, it stood out as well, which is quite rare in Doctor Who. It's never really directed well. Either it's just kind of just like standard ass shots. I noticed in this episode there was actually some cool shots. I like how David is using his Scottish accent. This was a big deal back when it first came out because everyone was like, "That's his real accent," and I could not wrap my head around that as a youngster. It blew my mind that was his real accent. I do really like the beginning. Where like they're playing all the music in the TARDIS and the first scene with Queen Victoria.
See, whilst you're on that thought, I I wish we got a scene like that in New Earth, because like I said, the first two episodes we didn't really. It didn't feel like we got full David, But this episode, we just got so many good scenes with him and so much range from him.
Oh yeah,
and I just wish we had like a scene of him and Billy having a laugh in New Earth. I know there's like the picnic scenes and shit like that, but they're not like fun, They're just like, oh, this is nice. I don't
Hit
know.
me with your ribbon stick. Hit me. Hit me.
Lunatics.
He's like smash. It's pretty sick. It's really cool.
Yeah,
it is cool. And like he lands in the wrong place, which is pretty notorious for David's Doctor. He always lands in the wrong place. Yeah, look, it's a quite dark episode for a children's show, but I think it's cool. The whole wolf transition thing is very spooky.
Yeah.
I think you mentioned last week the CGI for the wolf, considering it was like 15 years ago, is not bad.
It holds up. Like, no, it's obviously not like it holds up, but it's like
it's not groundbreaking, but it's pretty
holds
good.
up. It holds up.
It's
I think
pretty good.
Yeah.
There's my continued theory that Russell just literally kills everyone off in every episode he writes, and this is pretty much apparent here. Literally everyone dies.
I forgot that bloke dies. What's he called?
Yeah, everyone does.
Yeah, that was a shock to me when I was watching it. I was like, "Fuck no, not." I can't find his name. Not Sir Robert. No.
Yeah, Sir Robert. Yeah. That's the thing, though. That's what annoys me about the episode, and they do this all the time.
Yeah.
Especially with Daleks. They're like, "No, you go forward. I'll stop it." And then the Doctor always says, "You can't stop it." And they go, "It will buy you time." What time is being? What? They don't save anyone time. They
Especially
just
the
close
one.
a door behind them.
Especially
It
the
doesn't save
Queen's
anyone
Guard.
time.
You know the Queen's Guard.
Yeah.
Yeah. His death, where he's like, I'll stand up for you. You guys go. But then Rose just stands at the end of the hallway anyways until he's dead. She doesn't gain any more time,
That's what I mean. No time is bought. Like no one really gets away because every time they're like, "Oh, I'll stop him." What makes me laugh as well? Then like the wolf first escapes, and then all those blokes are like shoot at it, and it's like, there ain't a bloody thing on this God's green earth that would be still alive after that. I'll sleep great with that wolf's hanging on my wall, and suddenly he gets pulled up on the roof, and it's like, how the fuck did it get up there? You didn't see it come around the corner.
Yeah, it's weird.
It runs around the corner, and suddenly it's on the roof. I thought it gets pulled off into the hallway, but no, it's on the roof somehow.
I don't fucking know. I don't know how that works.
It's doing like a bit of a Spider-Man out there.
Yeah.
It's the thing, like the whole Queen's Guard thing's really cool. Like I like Sir Robert's character. I really like the scene where the bloke from the Queen's Guard says he's like a traitor to the crown. It's like a really like good line. It kind of like shows how serious it is. I've always thought Queen Victoria was really good. It's a believable performance. Great. They normally do quite well with historical, getting good actors in and do historical figures. I will give Doctor Who that.
Yeah.
I even noticed they gave her like prosthetic teeth. Like even little details like that were quite accurate.
I'll say this is probably one of the best lineups of guest cast we've had in so far in the rewatch.
Oh god, yeah.
They're really good. Because I think I'd previously said the Empty Child guest cast was the best of Series 1.
Yeah.
And I think this could be either second to that or maybe even better than that. They're a really good cast.
It is good. They really do a good job, which is nice to see. It's quite a different episode, I'd say. You want to fire away some thoughts?
Sure. Yeah, I guess running off of your thought there, it is different because it's like it's really dark, and it's one of the darkest David episodes, if not the darkest. It's hard to think of one that maybe goes this dark as just like a random episode.
Okay, that's not very random. Yeah, true.
Yeah. Look, like I said, by far some of the best guest cast we've had. Like you said, the cinematography was amazing in this episode. It looks fantastic. At times I think the color grade was a little too contrasty. And there's a few of the night scenes. There was stuff that was just genuinely black, and you kind of like maybe miss a few like facial expressions in there, because the scenes, whilst they are kind of nicely lighted, like there's not much of like a fill light, which I don't know, maybe was a stylistic choice, and if so, like I think it worked for the most part. But there was a few scenes where I felt like we only saw like half a face, where I would have liked to have seen like a full facial expression of a character, you know? Yeah, a lot of fun, real great pacing. It's one that like, it starts a tiny bit slow for like 10 minutes, but it's fine because the characters are really good. But then like 10 minutes in, it feels like you're into like what usually would be saved for the final act, like of just people running, and then it doesn't give up for the next like 25-30 minutes. And that's like, I think, really rare for an episode of Who to sort of be that consistently tense. I think the tone was great. Like we said, CGI it stands up. The CGI of like, sorry, it's not even green screen. A lot of the time with the house shots, like the exterior house shots, they and they put like the moon and the cars in the sky. It looks kind of shit. That looked kind of shit. I think Billy and David both brought their A game in this. This is the best we've seen of them of the 3 episodes we've reviewed so far of this season. Oh man, yeah, amazing episode. The sets were cool, costumes were great. The score was great. Dun 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 dun. Amazing.
Yeah,
amazing. The
100%.
Sequence, I love it. I think it's like my favorite scene. They're in the library and they're like finding out all this shit about the werewolf, and then they like look up and it's like it's on the ceiling. Like that was fucking cool. Yeah. Like I remember like watching it as a kid and being like, oh my god, it's on the fucking ceiling. And because they're giving you all this information, like the script did so well because they're giving you this information, and you do forget about the werewolf for a second. I guess my only flaws really would be that, yeah, some of the CGI wasn't amazing, but it's 2006, Doctor Who, what can you expect? And then also, I would have liked to have seen a little more of Lady Isabel, because she was quite good, and I feel it would have been nice of her to have put in like to maybe have another scene or so. And then also, what else was there? The thing with the werewolf, like it's like obviously not that fleshed out of a villain. It's just kind of like a monster, which I think works. But there's also a part of me that is like, ooh, if this episode maybe came out in 2020, I'm not sure I'd be satisfied with it just being just like an alien werewolf.
Yeah,
you know?
Fair enough.
And then also, Sir Robert, his demise was like cool and heroic, but he said like previously like my wife would have thought I was a coward, but now I can die like a hero or something like that. But I'm like, surely like she ain't mad that he betrayed the crown for her, you know? Like I didn't think he was a dick for that.
Yeah.
Like
That's what I mean. It like, yeah.
I feel like that was like meant to be his arc, but I don't think his betraying the crown was justified enough as a bad thing. You know, like he was doing it for his wife. So I don't know if that fully worked for me, but those are all super minor, super picky things. And upon the whole, Conor Hannum, great episode. One of the best in a while, I think.
Yeah, I do agree with the whole Sir Robert thing. It's like, did it really? Again, but like, I wouldn't mind, but they've done it like heaps in the episode already. It was like, I'll save you time. It's like, what time? Again, like, honestly, it's like, this didn't need to happen. Another thing that really annoyed me, which, look, I'm not saying it's, maybe it is, maybe it's not so out of character, because they can be quite twatty, Rose and the Doctor, but, you know, they get called out for it, which I didn't remember happening at the end of the episode, but they do. Like, Queen Victoria calls them out and banishes them, but pretty much, like, when they first go into the library, they're like, "Oh my god, a werewolf! Can you believe it?" And they're all like happy and stuff. It's like, hang on a minute, people have just died out there. Literally, a bloke just died risking his life for you, and it's like they're just like, "Oh, I can't believe it."
I love the gag of "I am not amused," but I do think that there was maybe a couple of times where it felt a little out of place tonally, where it was like serious, and then Rose would be like,
either that or Rose is just like a terrible person who doesn't care about anyone dying.
Yeah,
but to be fair, that whole thing would have annoyed me a lot more if they didn't get called out at the end of the episode. Because obviously at the end of the episode, Queen Victoria's like, "I banish you," and they set up the whole torture thing, which is really cool.
Yeah, dope.
Which I don't think torture has been said. Oh no, it got said in. It got mentioned in
torture was kind of a thing now because it's in Christmas Invasion and Bad Wolf. It gets mentioned.
It does get mentioned in Bad Wolf, yeah, and it gets mentioned in Christmas Invasion, which is cool. If you were like an eagle-eyed or eagle-eared viewer back in the day, you probably would have picked up on that.
Yeah, I think this is the first time where you'd be like, "Oh, this is a thing now." Like this episode. Because it is kind of, it's brought attention to in Christmas Invasion quite a bit, and then but then like you could have just blown it off and been like, oh, that's a thing, I guess. But then when they mention it again in this episode, I think the audience would then be like, oh, hold on, this is an ongoing thing, Torchwood, you know?
Yeah, I certainly didn't as a child catch on to that at all, but that's not to say it's bad. I think it's a really cool thing, and I like how they hinted at it, and you didn't really think much of it back when they said it. But in this episode, no one really would have. But then, like the way it comes back, and it's kind of a giveaway when they're like, if the Doctor comes back, torture would be waiting and stuff, and it gets mentioned in the final that it was started by Queen Victoria and stuff, and all that. But no, I do think this episode is really good. Again, like. There's nothing like a bit of nostalgia where like something used to really spook you as a child, and I think as an episode, like I don't know, if I saw my children watching this, I'd be like, ooh, like I'd let them watch it. I'd be like, ooh, dear, like this would probably terrify me as a child. Like it surprised me that they got away with it, and I don't mind. I'm fine with violence and whatever you want. You know, I think you should let your kids watch some stuff like that, but. Because I was allowed to, but I do. Again, look, I know we kind of said in Christmas Invasion that the whole, algorithm, or like the age group, if you will. There are some episodes that I'm like, maybe they still were a bit unsure of what the audience was and stuff, because like episodes like this and all that. I do remember. Again, this was I said last week. I never watched it live. I got the DVD of it, and again, I don't know why, but I never had a problem with it when I first watched it. But I don't even remember when I first watched it. Normally I know when I can remember. Sorry, when I first watched episodes, but yeah, it never really stood out to me as much as a child. I think it's one of those you can't really just switch your brain off with it. You kind of need to be engaged in it, which is probably why I liked it a lot more as an adult. But yeah, no, it's a good episode. It's pretty grand in my opinion. What did you say? It was like you said it's pretty grand, Conor Hannon. That's how I feel about it, Aidan. It's pretty grand, Aidan Green.
Pretty grand, brother. Yeah, I really enjoy it. I like the monks are cool, especially the start when they do those flips, and they actually have like really nice slow-mo at the start.
That was quite impressive.
Yeah, looked quite good, you would say.
I remember that shot was in the trailer. They used to show all the time on like the BBC trailers, like for the series, and I was like, look at that.
Yeah. Great episode. Great episode. I don't know how much I got more to say on it. It was good. It was real good.
Do you notice in this episode and the last one, the lighting in the TARDIS is like how different, and they never really do that again?
Not really. Like, it was pretty dark. But
that's what I mean. It's just quite dark.
Yeah. I can see that. Yeah. I'll tell you what as well. So the Blu-ray remasters, right, of these, they have this like slight issue, right? Well, a lot of people complain about Most of the time, I don't notice it too much, or if I do, it's like only for like a split second. But the sound mix isn't fantastic, right?
Yeah, I've heard this.
And there's some episodes where it's really noticeable, and this was one of those episodes, which is a shame because I'd be watching it, and my mum just came home, and they'd be having like a dialogue scene, and I'd have it at like average level for listening to a dialogue scene. But then all of a sudden, it'd be like dun 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 dun, and like it would just be like wrestling my house, and I'm like fuck, and I couldn't be bothered reaching for the remote and turning it down. So my poor mother just had to keep just hearing,
Listen to Murray Gold being blasted.
yeah, just every like 4 minutes she would hear like 10 minutes of Murray Gold, and then it would go quiet for a couple of minutes. Seriously, like this was, yeah, quite bad of a sound mix. It's a shame because
I hear that a lot.
It
You're not
does.
anyone who thinks that.
It does take you out a little bit of the immersion, you know, because you're like, oh, I need to turn it down. That's so loud. But then you turn it down, and then next minute there's like a dialogue, and they're like, Rose, we need to go to the house. The werewolf is coming. Rose, we need to go. You know?
Right.
Connor, I want to talk about a classic
Yes.
Who serial I'm halfway through watching at the moment.
A serial gone.
So you probably heard of it before. It's quite a well-known one. It's called The Talons of Wen Chang. Wang Chang? Something like that. Have you heard of that one before, Connor?
No, I haven't.
Okay, well, it's pretty popular. So season 14 has been a hoot. It's a really great season. And the last 6-part episode in it is The Talons of Wang Chang. And so it's an episode that was much loved in the past, but I think as society has evolved and sort of found the error in their ways and things like that, it's an incredibly racist episode. And it is like, it's such a shame that they took the approaches that they took because, like I saw Josh Snare's, he rewatched it recently, and he put out a tweet and he was like I'm sorry, but I just find the Talons of Wang Chang to be unwatchable. It's just like some of the dialogue choices that get made are like incredibly racist. Sorry, it's set in Victorian London, so like, sure, you can argue that maybe some of the dialogue is pretty accurate for the dialogue of the time. Sure. But the main thing that really, like, fucks me off about it is they have one of the main villains of the serial is a Chinese man, but he's clearly someone in yellowface, you know?
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he's in like almost every scene.
Wait, is this episode on the Blu-ray release?
Yeah, it's 6-part episode. 6-part story.
Wait, what Doctor is it?
Tom Baker.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so
surprised me the BBC let that slide.
I am surprised. I saw a lot of people asking for like a re-edit of it, but I think it's one of those things where it's like it's so incredibly racist that
Jesus Christ.
if they did a re-edit, there's no point putting it out. I'm kind of glad that it's on there because I want to see it because the thing is, all of the racism aside, which is a huge and horrible and distracting thing in the episode, the set pieces and the actual story and the character and the performances, it is a brilliant serial, and it really could have been like one of the best, like the next Genesis of the Daleks, you know, but it's just fucking ruined by just horrible decisions of racism, and it's a shame. I'm only 3 parts in, and I'm hesitant to say I'm loving it because I'm loving aspects of it, but then every time something racist happens, it just like takes you out, and you're like, oh, for fuck's sake! Like, it's such an eye roll, and it's so painful.
Yeah, fair enough.
But it's kind of like a cool like Sherlock Holmes style story. It's all set in like the sewers of Victorian London. And yeah, it had the potential to be a great episode, but it's just ruined by some shitty decisions. And I think um, it being a serial that came out in the 70s, I think it was even behind for then. You know, like um, obviously in the past 20 years, Black Lives Matter and stuff like that has come like a long way in that time. But for a while,
Yeah, sure has.
Racism has been a thing that people have been actively fighting against. And I think the BBC made some shit decisions and were very behind in the 70s to have let this kind of thing come out on a children's show, you know?
And well, here's the thing, though. That's pretty crazy. Like this sort of thing. Like, don't they handpick the episodes they remaster?
No, I think their plan is to remaster all of them, but they remaster complete seasons. So they picked season 14, and that had Talons of Weng Chiang on it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm hesitant to say, but that I did want to see, and I'm glad it's on the set because it completes the set, and there's aspects of it that I'm happy to be seeing and enjoying, but it's just like it could be a far better episode if they were just a bit smarter and a bit
Right.
uh
That's the thing. It's like
a bit less racist about things.
Yeah. Stuff like that. It's just, the world is so shitty and horrible, and stuff like that just puts us back miles. And but in fairness, I think our generation is especially. I think our generation of like our youth. I think once our parents and everyone older than us is like gone, I do think our generation is going to be a lot better with this kind of thing.
I hope so. We can hope.
Yeah, well, look. I don't know about. Well, no, I do know about you. That sounded bad, but I think after all the Black Lives Matter thing, I think everyone's trying to be better, and I think with, even just like gay rights and the whole gay marriage thing, everyone voting yes, like.
Yeah.
I do again think everyone's trying to be better with this kind of stuff, and I think hopefully our generation is going to be a huge step forward. I do personally think that in the next like 20, 30 years, like it will be a lot more common for like, like gay rights will be a lot more common and everything should be fine there. And hopefully there is well, obviously there's always going to be racism. There's always going to be people being homophobic, but I'd like to think that it's going to start to go down. I personally think it will, because I just think that, you don't, I don't really meet a lot of people who I'm like, okay, they're racist or they're homophobic. I don't really meet a lot of those people. I obviously I have, and you do, but I not so much anymore, which is good. I think a lot of the racism and homophobic stuff I see is from older people.
Yeah,
I know. That's literally where I see it all.
I have,
and I'm always go on.
At my work, I have this fucking bun man. And
Bun, right.
Is the most racist and homophobic guy I've ever fucking met. And he's really loud, and he's at work because the store's closed, and then at 5 a.m. Is when I get there and we open. He's doing his bun route, and he's going to places all through the night, and then he gets to my store at 5 a.m. for when it opens. So a lot of the time, my manager's running late. In fact, almost every day, I have to stand around talking to this guy for like 5-10 minutes. And
Right.
At first, I was like, oh, he's a nice guy. He's just a bit loud. But then, like, you start to see his true colors. And I'm just like, how can this guy be fucking allowed to talk? Why does this guy have the right to talk in 2020? Like, like, I bite my lip when talking to him. And sure, that's a bad thing. And maybe I should be more vocal to him about these.
Yeah, it's difficult. I understand where you're coming from, though.
Yeah, you don't want to cause, like, I don't want to say unnecessary beef because it is necessary, but he's one of those guys that you just know is so set in his ways.
Right.
And
well, it's good that it's good that that isn't very it's not as common anymore, which I think's the best thing.
That's the thing. It was so surprising to me when I was like, holy fuck, this guy is fucked. Like,
someone from our generation.
Yeah.
I mean, I think especially what I've learned a lot through the whole Black Lives Matter thing is the amount of the way that they've just created and made way for so much amazing art, especially as a DJ. I mean, like Grandmaster Flash is like OG, like he's OG.
Yeah.
And I just think that like you can't enjoy art, you can't say you love it and respect it without respecting those artists. And it's just like that's a huge thing for me. That's what I've been trying to respect more. I've been studying a lot of like again, like a lot of like Grandmaster Flash and stuff, because I'm like, shit, this guy's fucking sick. And he inspired a lot of my favorite DJs. So like, again, it's respecting that. I mean, I know Dan asked me on like the podcast about my whole opinion about it, and I kind of had the same answer that you gave with when Jason asked you. I was like, to be honest with you, man, like, I don't know what I have to say about it because I'm white, so I don't know what it's like. So
yeah,
I kind of said, we should be asking black people how they feel about this. We shouldn't. Why are you asking me? Type thing, I mean, I understand everyone's got an opinion, and that's fine, but I think right now what we need to be doing is not asking white people how they're feeling. We should be asking black people. But wow, we've really gone down that dark alley, haven't we?
We have gone deep, but I guess just to wrap things up there, I think the important thing is to hear the people that are hurting.
Exactly.
And then stand up when the time comes. I mean the time is obviously now, but I mean when, like, if you see something happening, it's time to step in and do things. It's been great over the past few years. Seeing some great new perspectives with a whole bunch more like black directors out there and stuff like that.
100%, yeah.
Like, obviously, probably one of the most famous now is Jordan Peele, and I like Get Out a lot. That was really good, but Us was more of a movie for me, just in terms of how much I enjoyed him.
I do like Us a lot.
Both of those films are like films that have some very unique perspectives in them, and that those sort of films wouldn't have been made like 20, 30 years ago, so it's really great to see some awesome art coming out of these guys.
Yeah, like I totally agree. I think it's a really good step forward, and like, again, I know there are people out there who are still going to be racist, are still going to be homophobic, but I would like to think and say that in the future it's going to be a lot less common. I hope and pray, because it's going to be a pretty scary world to raise kids in if that's what it's like. I will say this though, I saw Tenet last night, and there was a black actor in it called John David Washington, who I haven't seen his stuff before, but he was really good. He was really great. I didn't like the movie personally, but he is. Yeah, with Robert Pattinson.
I've seen him in stuff.
I wouldn't say Robert Pattinson's a main character per se. He's kind of in it and not, but I really
John David Washington. I think he's the guy from Atlanta, which
I need to watch Atlanta
again is another show that's from a completely unique perspective that we wouldn't have seen a while back. Donald Glover is obviously a mastermind in everything he does.
Don Glover's great,
and his crafting of Atlanta is just amazing. Connor, I just wanted to say that because I just feel like, I never hide the fact that I'm a Doctor Who fan, and I'm proud to be one. But when you see an episode like that from the 70s, it's so like, it's an episode that if they hadn't made some of the decisions they made, I'd be like, watch this episode. Like, to get you to watch Classic Who, Connor, this would be an episode where I'd be like, this is fucking awesome. Watch this episode. But because of how racist it is and stuff, it's not one of those. And it's one of those where I'm kind of like ashamed of the show's past,
Yeah, it's hard to recommend it. Yeah.
And but one of the things I love about Chibnall is when he came in, I don't know the exact numbers, but I'm pretty sure he's made it so the writers' room is like almost 50-50 man woman, and it's very diverse as well with like what's she called some like Merrily Blackman or something, Mary Black,
Right.
and then Vinyo Patel. And there might be a couple of others in there as well.
Yeah.
Chibnall has done great to
of course,
diversify
that's
it.
great. Despite of how I feel about his era, I think that's great. It's hard to talk about. I feel like, it's such a difficult subject. I feel like eventually, if I ever get a crew in the future, I'd love to just, get as many great people as I can. And hopefully, again, even in like the future for the film industry, it's not going to be as blatantly racist and sexist as it has been. I really do hope that eventually we get to a place where it's a lot better. And the Me Too movement's done wonders because just shit like that can't fly anymore. And I think, I helped a girl out in the city. Or me and the boys did. She came up to us and she asked for help and she was like crying and stuff, and we sat her down and we got her home and stuff and looked after her. And the reason why I did that is because I would like someone to do that for my daughter one day, or when I have a girlfriend. We need to start looking out for each other more, no matter who the hell you are, where you come from, or what skin color you are, who you are sexually attracted to. Like, that shit doesn't matter. Like, we should all just love each other for who we are. And I do think we're gonna get there a lot better than we have in the past, but I can only hope and pray, to be honest. But I do think that our generation is a lot more advanced, and hopefully the generation after that will be even better.
I agree. Yeah, I hope so. What a super fucking deep.
It's a good chat. It's a good chat.
It was a good chat. Like when we had a mental health chat a few weeks ago on the show. Like, I feel like maybe we were a little late to having this conversation on the show.
Yeah.
But it's always happening. Like, it's always, sorry for the voice break. It's always happening. It's always present. So I think just a gentle reminder to people, just to be kind to everyone, is always super important.
Be kind.
Be kind. Conor, do you have any...
Listen to Peter.
I miss Peter. Oh, it's 6 years since Peter.
I know. What the hell?
Lest we forget.
Crazy? Bloody hell.
Do you have any Doctor Who thoughts, Conor? Any other Doctor Who thoughts for today?
No. I don't know when I'm going to watch School Reunion, but I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm not sure either.
We've got some groovy episodes coming up soon, and I'm most excited to watch Love and Monsters, to be honest.
Really?
I love that episode.
I don't know why, but I'm super keen for the 2-part Cybermen in the middle. I know it's pretty shit, like, it's not amazing. I don't know, is it? I don't remember. I remember it being not great.
Pretty damn good.
But
really?
Yeah. But, like...
You think that?
I don't know what isn't great about it, I think I'll enjoy it when I watch it.
Are we doing ratings now?
Yeah, fuck it. Let's get into our ratings. Sure. What are you going to give Tooth and Claw, Conor?
I'm going to go Tooth and Claw. I think it's a pretty good episode. It's not the most memorable, and it's not my go-to when I want to watch an episode, so I'm going to give it a 7.35? Yeah, 7.35. No, yeah?
7.25?
7.3 a quarter. 3.5. 7.
I think. Do you mean 7.25?
85%. 7.0.85.
So not 7.1. 7.085.
Yeah. So like 8 3/4.
8.
8 3/4. Yeah.
7 point. Oh, that's 7.77. What? What are you trying to say?
An extra. So it's not 7.5. It's 1/4 more than that. And if it was another quarter more, it'd be 8.
So 7 3/4. So 7.75.
Yes, 7.75.
We did it.
What about you?
Cool. We feel pretty similar about this one. It's a super strong episode. Like I said, really blown away by the cinematography in this one and the direction of the actors and just like everything in the episode was really great. So I'd give it a 7.5. I think it was a really good one.
Hot dog. We nearly had the same one.
Nearly. We've not gone the same though for a while. Actually for quite a while. Ooh.
I know. What's that about?
Ooh.
I know. We
Since
have to soon.
Since Father's Day.
We have to be. Sorry?
Since Father's Day,
Really?
we've not had the same.
Really?
Yeah, according to my little table here.
Yeah, well, to be fair, I mean, we never really do agree on stuff, so, you know, I think it's a good thing, maybe, like, but I am looking forward to the day that we actually agree on something, and that was so close. I was going to say 0.5, but I do believe it deserved a tiny bit more, but yeah.
Sure, yeah. No worries. That's another great episode. Yeah.
Thanks for having me, Aidan.
Sorry if you weren't keen on the deep chats to the people out there, but sometimes these things and these dark conversations, deep conversations, I should say, need to be had. So, I guess just
I agree.
toughen up if you aren't a fan of that one.
I approve that message.
I approve that message. Connor. Oh, fuck. Connor. No, everyone stay on the podcast. We're not done. We're not done yet.
Are we?
Not yet. I forgot my goof of the week.
Aha! Play the music, Aidan.
So close. Yeah, okay. It's time for goof of the week.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Goof of the week. A very last minute goof of the week here, guys. At a very early on with the carriage, and the camera pans around, you can see the reflection of the camera in the window of the carriage for a brief...
Oh, can you? That classic.
Brief second.
That old chestnut.
It's weird, because they hide, like, the rest of the crew. It's just the cameraman. It's so weird. So they obviously knew you could see it, but they still did it.
I know, one of the only times I've actually seen a reflection of a camera in Doctor Who. There's an episode coming up this season, and I can't wait to call it out on Goof of the Week, because I know exactly where it is, and I do wonder if you'll be eagle-eyed enough to spot it. I won't say which one it is, but it's in Series 2, and when it comes to the episode, I will tell you.
I'm keen.
Thank you, Aidan. Keen as a motherfucking bean.
Keen. All right, guys. Thank you very much for today. Thank you very, very much for being on here and having these hilarious and also meaningful chats with me, Connor.
Hey, man, that's what I'm here for.
Yeah. All right, Connor. Do you want to lead us out in song?
Sure. I'm kind of leaning on my chair right now, so I can't get my roller, but it's okay. I can still sing.
Cool. All right, count us down, baby.
And a 1, and a 2, and a 1, 2, 3.
It's Aidan's and Connor's podcast. They're doing Doctor Who reviews. Doing Doctor Who reviews.
And cut.
Bomb. Bomb.